been lied to.
Contrary to what most people believe and are told, yoga and stretching are not going to help you solve your chronic back pain. And in many scenarios, if that's all you do, you're likely to make it worse. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the core principles of the body rebuild system, a system that was founded while I was rebuilding my back pain, and a system that's helped hundreds of people get over their chronic back pain situation. I'm also going to go over an underrated method about healing back pain that nobody tells you. So stick around to the end. But before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and give this video a like, especially if you find that it gave you value. I can't tell you how many times I ask people, hey, what are you doing to fix your back pain? And they say, hey, I'm doing stretching, I'm doing yoga, but it's not getting better. I had a client, we'll call him Mike, and he was doing everything to deal with his back pain, specifically stretching, doing yoga, and spinal twists. And the pain flare-ups, they just kept coming back. In fact, it actually got worse. And that's because stretching alone does not fix chronic back pain. Most people believe and are told that tight muscles equal the cause of pain. But the truth is, tightness is actually often the body just protecting itself. So if your core and glutes are weak, your lower back is likely working too hard and it takes on the load of those muscles. And then your body creates tension as a defense mechanism. Back is tight, your hamstrings are tight, your hip flexors are tight. So this is done essentially to protect you and stop you from moving in ways that could injure yourself. So simply stretching those muscles without actually fixing the underlying instability is just going to continue that pain cycle and actually in some cases make it worse. So if your only strategy is stretching, you're truly missing the real solution. So to actually heal your back pain, you need a system that strengthens your core and your glutes. This is super important. As we talked about before, if you do this, your other muscles are not picking up the slack. You need a system that restores mobility in the thoracic spine. And this is important so that your lower back doesn't have to compensate for the lack of upper thoracic mobility. And finally, it should teach you proper movement mechanics so you're not stuck in bad movement patterns and continuing to exacerbate problem. So this is why the body rebuild system works. It's not about loosening up, but rather it's about building strength where you need it and getting mobility where you lack it. So here are just a few movements that you can start to do that will start to tackle this problem the right way. First one is glute bridge. Now the glute bridge, you want to focus on glute activation. And you want to make sure you're not using your back instead of your glutes and your hips to move. The next one is the bird dog. Now the bird dog is a critical exercise because it's meant to stabilize your spine, stabilize your lower lumbar, and move at your hips and move at your shoulders. When you do this, you want to make sure that you're not moving at your lower lumbar. Here's a tip. If you're doing it, record yourself from a side angle. And if you see your spine is going from this to this, you've gone too far. And so what you're going to want to do is shrink your range of motion so your legs aren't going up as high. Focus on stabilizing the core and only moving your legs as high as you can while stabilizing the core. That's the key with this one. The next is the 90-90 hip transition. Okay, it's going to open up your hips in internal and external rotation. All right, it's going to give you some hip mobility and awareness. When you do this, again, making sure that your lower lumbar area is not doing all the twisting and you're only going as far as you can while keeping your lower lumbar locked in place. These movements are just a start towards fixing the root cause of your back pain rather than just focusing on stretching. Now, if you want to give some of these movements a try, below in the description, you'll see my back pain solution. Click the link and you'll be able to get access and instruction on how to do all these movements. Okay, next. Now, this is something nobody tells you, but it completely changed the game for me and it completely changed the game for my clients when it came to overcoming their chronic back pain. The idea is that your nervous system controls your pain. Now, this is not pseudoscience. You can look this up. This is a real thing, and it's often overlooked when we're thinking about battling chronic back pain. So if you're stressed, you're anxious, you're constantly living in fight or flight mode, your body keeps those pain signals on. You're sensitive to pain all the time. And as a result of that, it's going to be very hard to break the cycle of chronic back pain. No amount of stretching or exercises that's going to work if your nervous system is in constant overdrive. So you need to reset your nervous system and become more aware of your mind-body connection. You need to reset everything to actually allow healing to happen. One of my clients, Sean, struggled with back pain for years. And when he came to me, he was focused on building up strength, stability, and doing all the things that we talked about in this video. And we did those things. But every once in a while, he would get a pain flare up. And so we sat down and we talked and we strategized on ways that he could start to tackle the holistic side. We came up with a plan for him to stop the chronic pain loop by really focusing on how he dealt with the pain, his nervous system, and how he thought about the pain. So the real issue was his mind and body, they were not aligned. Sean was constantly frustrated with his pain, and he was living in a state of constant resistance. Why is this happening to me? Why isn't this working? And what if I never get better? So this was the mental loop that was keeping Sean's pain alive. So here's what we started to do instead. Sean started to focus on listening to his body and accepting pain as a messenger, telling him that something was wrong, that he was stressed, that he was anxious. He started practicing meditation and mindfulness so that he could connect with his body. He started practicing breath work so he could connect with his physical body as well and realize what he's thinking, when he's thinking it, and what's going on in his head so that he can accept these feelings and then move forward beyond them instead of holding them on and having those turn into pain. Within weeks of practicing these skills, he started to feel different, not because he was doing more workouts or getting stronger, because his body started to relax and he was able to start that healing process. His body finally felt safe enough to stop guarding. Now, most people typically ignore this side of the healing journey with chronic back pain. The truth is, your thoughts, emotions, and nervous system are just as important as your muscles and tendons when it comes to healing your body. It's all connected. That's why people use the word holistic, because we're one holistic unit. We're a human being, and if you treat things in a vacuum, you're not going to get the best outcomes. So if you're constantly stressed, you're focused on the pain, you're not sleeping well, all those things are going to keep you stuck in this cycle. It won't matter how much you stretch, how much you do mobility, how much strength training you do, all the right exercises, standing up straight, sitting up straight. If you're stuck in the chronic pain mental loop, you will not be able to break through. So if that's you, what you need to start doing is incorporating some meditation and mindfulness into your daily practice. Sit for 5 minutes, sit for 10 minutes. All you have to do is realize that you're thinking. That's it. Don't overthink this. Sit. I'm thinking. You say thinking and focus on your breath. Focus on your breath until you get lost in thought. Then you say thinking and you focus on your breath. 5 to 10 minutes a day, it'll change your reality. Next big thing, practice some form of breathing. There's many different types, but the big thing here is that it allows you to get into your physical body and realize that breathing alone can change your state. You can go online and look. I encourage you to start to adopt some breathing techniques. Some of these take less than 10 seconds. And lastly, become aware of how your emotions and your experience affect your pain. Are you stressed? Are you worried? Are you anxious? All of these things are going to put you in that hypersensitive state and will likely increase your pain sensitivity. These simple practices, they will lower stress, they will lower your pain sensitivity, and they will really help your body heal for the long term. Now, if you made it this far to the video, I appreciate it. If you liked it so far, what I want you to do is drop a comment below, give the video a like, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Next step is I want you to check out my free back pain solution guide below in the comments. It's going to have tips, tricks, exercises, and protocols with everything that I talk about in these videos. So if you like some of the stuff from this videos, you need to go get the back pain solution. It is absolutely free, and it's my way of trying to help as many people as possible. Next, if you're saying, hey, actually, I would like more one-on-one support, and you're thinking, hey, I want to work with you one-on-one, you can click the link below as well, and you can see what it would look like for us to actually get on a call together, see if you're a good fit for the program, and talk about what it would look like to work one-on-one together. Okay, I'm out. See you in the next video.